All right, so let's get to the beginning of the slides and let's do it. So yeah, we're here. So this talk is called Product Focused Humans. And what I'm going to be sharing with you are mostly how we work in AE and how we think at AE as a team. And all this that I'm going to share with you, hopefully is going to make you a better developer wherever you are. But if you're interested, we're hiring. So yeah, let's begin. So I'm going to be talking about three things here. So I'm going to be talking about the power of thinking, how to think better, and in the end of this talk, I'm going to be presenting you with tools for thinking. All right, so let's begin with the power of thinking. And let me just make sure that you guys, all right, so you guys are seeing me, right? Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let's begin with the power of thinking. And I want to start by showing you the picture of this chair. And bear with me, it's going to become very interesting in a moment. So why did I start talking about the power of thinking with the picture of a chair? And that's because a chair once was a revolutionary invention. So you can imagine that the guy who invented the first chair, he had to go through a lot of thinking. He maybe have first to dream about what a chair is. It maybe had appeared to him in a dream, and then he had to set out and build it. And to build a chair for a man who had never seen a chair must have been very difficult. He had to think about how the parts connect, and he had to think a lot. So he had to do a lot of work too that required thinking, like getting the correct materials and putting up everything together. And and then he could come up with the chair. And we use chairs every day, right? And chairs are important because if you use something today that you use every day, it means it is important. So you think all the time. And if you think all the time, it means that thinking is important. So we need to think about ways to improve our thinking and to improve the thinking of people around us. So everyone can do everything better. All right. So other stuff that it's built with the power of thinking, it's beer. You can say that writing is a way of translating your thoughts into words and registering them so other humans can read it later and get what you had thought initially and then put there into words. And actually, there are beer recipes that date to 4,000 years ago. So you can see that how beer is important, right? So the book of The Hobbit, it's something that was made of thinking. Tolkien had to think about all these characters. He had to think about all the awesome stuff that he wanted to put in a book, and it was very hard to do. Imagine even how hard it was to write The Lord of the Rings, but he had to think a lot. He had to dream a lot, and he had to think about each paragraph and how words connect and etc. And more important for us, code. Code is built with thinking, right? You can say that that essentially a software is a collection of thoughts turned into code. You need to think about each line. You need to basically imagine the product line by line and write it. And so you can get that product out of your head and into a real representation of something that people can use, right? So in turn, better thoughts result into better software, which results into better product. So if you think about it, if you think all the time and you think to build each line of code, it means that your thoughts need to be improved so you can improve your code and in result improve the product. And better thinkers think better thoughts. So the goal of this talk is to make each one of you a better thinker. I really want to make everyone here think better so you can become better human beings and better coders and better developers and like better whatever you already are. This talk is not only for developers. It can all these concepts they can be applied into many things in life. So where do thoughts come from? So thoughts come from humans. Only human beings can think, right? Only human beings can provide this substance to build what the product is. So whenever a manager is managing a product, he needs to think about how all the people, what they're working in the about deadlines and expectations to manage. And so thoughts are the only humans are the only source of thought, at least the thoughts we're interested in, because AI maybe you can see like how AI is evolving, but AI today, they are mostly tools, so not yet. Although they are very interesting tools, they are still just tools. They are limited. They are limited for like GitHub Copilot and the IBM Watson, which can beat Kasparov in a chess match. And watch that; it's very fun. Like he gets really mad at the at Watson when he loses. Like he really gets mad. It's fun. But AI cannot provide the thought that we're really interested in, which is the power of dreaming and the power of coming to the right conclusions on how to relate to other human beings, how to become a better human being yourself. So what I'm going to teach you is how to think better as a human, because you can teach AI to think as well. So you can think better by having and help others to have a growth mindset. And you understand why helping others is so important in developing your growth mindset. And I'll talk about what growth mindset is. So be and help others to be more productive. You can also care deeply and challenge directly. This is a concept from a book called Radical Candorness that I'm going to go into it deep later. You need to help people think, and I will tell you how this is this has a lot more to it than simply looks like at first glance. And also be within effective external structures. So this is very important because if you're not in the right environment, in the right mood, I mean, if you just crashed your car, you won't be able to really help anyone to think better because you're in an extreme situation where you and probably everyone else is going to be on their backup style, on the very defensive. And so now let's dive into the topics itself. So have and help others to have a growth mindset. So exploring what growth mindset is, it's basically, I would say that it's embrace challenges, says pretty much what growth mindset is in just 2 words. You can think that we have a very, most of the time, we avoid some challenges, right? Because it's easier to avoid challenges, right? Just if you simply don't embrace it, you will never lose it. You will never lose anything. You will never face hard feelings. But so embrace challenge basically would be, but let's dive into it. So growth mindset is about embracing challenges instead of avoiding it. See effort as a path to mastery rather than giving up easily. Persist in the face of challenges, learn from criticism, and find lessons and inspirations in the success of others. So how many times you have seen this, like many people see other people being successful and they kind of feel a negative emotion about it. It's like it's some kind of envy, maybe, I don't know. But the thing is that if you see other people succeeding and find lessons in what they're doing, try to understand like, hey, why everything is working for this person, and why everything this person touches work. You can start learning and you'll find that this person, he probably wants to teach everyone as because he knows the importance of teaching others. So growth mindset, it's kind of a new theory, but this thing has been thought about in philosophy. So see a lot of growth mindset in Stoicism, for instance. You see a lot of it in Taoism, in understanding the place of things in like in a more abstract way. And also in Buddhism, you see a lot of growth mindset, a mindset from a place of positivity rather than negativity. But not only blind positivity. You need to be rooted in reality. You need to understand that things are hard, and that most likely what you're going to set up to do is a hard thing that will bring you into, that will lead you to difficult situations, because difficult situations is what make you grow if you have the right mindset and if you embrace it. We have growth mindset examples in games. I put this one first because Ellie from The Last of Us, it's a very realistic game, right? And she never gives up. She's like in a post-apocalyptic world. she could say that what she has, the thing that doesn't let her turn into a zombie. I know that it's not zombie the name, but like they didn't use the name of zombie, but she has this thing that doesn't let her turn into a zombie. And if she had a fixed mindset, she would see this as a curse rather than the opportunity. And sometimes she sees it because that's part of growing, right? Sometimes you see some qualities as a curse, but they're not if you embrace it the right way. The thing is, you have the power to repurpose everything that happens to you. And Ellie does that really well. Like she has a journey and she does a lot of wrong things, but she never gives up on trying to find what's best. Other examples of growth mindset is Goku from Dragon Ball Z. He never gives up. Like, and if you remind of how his expression is, he's either angry at something and really facing it, like really trying to solve a problem, really focused, or he's smiling, laughing, because he has a growth mindset. He embraces challenges. He likes battles, and he likes to train, and he sees all these enemies as opportunities to grow. Like, he sees a stronger enemy, he doesn't get afraid, or maybe he does get afraid, but he sees it as an opportunity for him to get stronger and beat the guy up. There's also another example that I like a lot, which is Luffy from One Piece. Luffy from One Piece, he has a lot of friendship on him. He has a growth mindset for him and for others. He doesn't let others give up, and he doesn't give up himself, which is great. So if you take these personalities and understand what is the core of what makes them interesting, you understand what growth mindset is. And like these characters, they are archetypes that we see in lots of histories and many religious characters and mythological characters. They have it. So growth mindset is a concept that it's new, but all the parts that compose it are deeply rooted in what our own being is supposed to be in its most developed form. So, and that's one note here. Why I didn't came up with fixed mindset characters here, because they are forgettable. And if you want to be remembered, if you want to be respected, have help others, you need to have a growth mindset and become more like Goku, Ellie, and Luffy. Otherwise, you're just going to be like forgettable. I couldn't even think of fixed mindset guys to put here. And yeah, that's interesting. So the first thing about growth mindset, you need to first develop it in you. This is very important. You won't be able to help others to become something you're not. This simply doesn't work, because then you're just telling them a story that you don't believe. And much of the power of human beings is telling stories that share a common belief in that story. So you need to develop it in you. You need to believe it. Otherwise, it won't work. So you need to be the change you want to see in others. This is even for growth mindset, for whatever you want to do. People are always getting your attitude as an example. It doesn't matter if you are like just starting out doing something, like you're a junior developer or a seasoned 100-year-old developer. People get inspired by what you do. So if you do positive things, you inspire people positively. And you need to believe that's possible and that every problem is solvable. This is very hard to do, because we never know how to solve problems at first. And like I said, having a growth mindset, it's about being realistic. It's not about having this toxic positivity, believing that everything is beautiful. You need to know that things are hard, but you also need to believe that you can solve it, because the first thing that you need to solve any problem is believing that it's solvable. If I don't believe that I can walk through that door and open it, I won't be able to open that door, never. But if I believe that it's possible to climb Mount Everest, I know it's super hard and I won't be able to do it this year, maybe not even the next year, and maybe I'll even die trying. But I will learn a lot and become a very better version of myself in the process. So believe that it's possible, even if not at first, but and believe it that even if it's not possible, you will get to a point where you learn so much and you at least learn why is it not possible and what did you need it to succeed. Maybe you can go out and try to ask people for help. and really understand what needs to be solved, but you will learn. And take it one step at a time and one problem at a time. Uh, don't think that by adopting a growth mindset, you will adopt it like right away. This is an intention that you need to put it like, I'm going to adopt a growth mindset. Yeah, it may take years. I would say that I learned about growth mindset for some time now, but I don't apply it. I would say that I apply it for half of my problems, which is great. But it takes time. It takes time and it takes a very conscious effort in doing it. So if people around you are doing it, you can all talk about how to solve things in a positive way, which will help you to always be primed to think about this. So the other part is to be and help others to be more productive. So I was thinking about, okay, so what are the productivity tips that I can share? What is the most awesome productivity tip that I can share that will work? And the first thing that I came up with is understand what must be done and do it. We always talk about, oh, should I do it in the morning? Should I do it in the afternoon? Should I do the deep work after taking coffee, after exercising? But half of the problems, I would say more than half, can be solved if you just sit down and do it and stop thinking about all the other stuff that are bothering you. Like go to your office, close the door, and focus on the problem and understand what must be done. Be sure that you're working on the right problem and not on the wrong problem. Help others. So it's scientifically proven that if you want to feel better, if you help someone, you will feel better. This is scientifically proven that that's an effective way for you to feel better, because we humans are social and we are collective, right? So we gather a lot of value from helping other people, and our brains have evolved to deal with social interaction. So help others and you'll feel better. Learn productivity techniques. So this is very important. After the mindset, you need to find the right tools for whatever you want to do. So productivity techniques, there are lots of them. There is my favorite one, which is GTD, getting things done. I like that one, but other productivity techniques can be time blocking. If you learn to time block effectively, like get your phone away, tell people that expect your attention that you will be like deep working for some hours, and that you will be reachable, and sit down and work on a problem, one problem at a time. There are many small techniques that can make you more productive. So learn them and go ahead and teach others productivity frameworks. Don't just learn GTD by yourself, but tell others about it, because you will see that other people using it will also benefit you, because you can discuss what works for them and what works for you. Basically, we didn't evolve to do things alone. We evolved to do things and share this experience with others. Encourage healthy habits. This is very important, because if you are in an environment with people that encourage you to go to the gym, to eat healthy, to have a diet, you will be in the long term, you will become a better version of yourself, and everyone else will with you. So this is very important. Don't neglect these healthy habits. And it's nice because I joined the team and everyone was going to the gym, and I used to be in meetings, and there's this big guy in my team who has this big arms, and say, hey man, I want to be like this guy. So whenever you are with people who does healthy stuff, you will try to be like them, because you are always the average of the people that you hang around with. So and you will hang around with your team more than many distant relatives. I would say that you will spend more time with your team than many of your closest relatives, because you spend lots of the most part of the day, like 8 hours a day with them. And so encourage health habits and help people to avoid burnout. This is really important. When people are burning out, they usually don't notice it, because they are so focused on solving some a problem. But you can detect that on them and help them to avoid it. And the way by doing it is really understand, like because there's one fun thing. I was in a job where I was almost having a burnout, and what happened was I thought that I was tired, that I was doing too much. But then I received a challenge. It was a very big challenge, and I didn't thought I was burning out anymore. I was doing more, I was working more, but I was not burning out because the challenge was so interesting. And I realized that I was burning out from the type of work that I was doing before. Basically, I was burning out of boredom, maybe you can say that. But having a challenge helped me to see things in a different perspective and tackle that and channel my energy into that. And seeing the results, I didn't burn out. So the funny thing is, people don't burn out if they are within healthy habits. They are not like in a toxic environment, and they are working on something that amazes them. Because then it becomes a challenge, becomes a pleasure to work if you have the right amount of challenge in what you're doing. So care deeply and challenge directly. So you can see I put all this picture here. I guess that most of you know all of this, guys. Come on, you know everyone here in this picture. And what does this have in common? Like, what does all these masters have in common with their disciples? With their disciples, they are very demanding. So a master, he will teach you the way because he's a more experienced person who has gone through what you have gone before. He also learns a lot with you because whenever you get old, like these masters, and you get old in things before you get old in age, right? You get old like in I say if you're learning a language for 10 years, you're already old on it. So you need to teach that to someone. It's like it's something that it's part of building our characters, our minds, developing our minds. It's teaching others when you reach the point of mastering something. So these guys, they are old, but what they actually are, they are very skillful in one skill. And they are teaching others, and they are very demanding, but they care a lot. So whenever, for instance, there is a scene where Rocky is training and Nick is yelling at him, it's calling him names. And it's very different from a person in the street calling you names or something, because you know that what he's doing, he's trying to develop you. He really cares. And whenever these masters, they say that, I think your work is not good enough, he's challenging you. He's not making less of you. He's not selling you short or anything. He's really challenging you to do a better work because he knows that you can do. And most importantly, they're there for you. They're not simply throwing that and let you alone. These guys, they actually never let anyone alone. They are there to help their disciples, even die for them if that's the case. So how do you care deeply and challenge directly? The first thing is you need to develop a genuine bond with people in your team. This will not work if you know people for a short period of time, because then when you challenge them, the first thing, you don't have time to care genuinely about them, and it's like humanly impossible to really care about someone that you don't know for a short period of time, unless like you have been through some like intense experience together, real challenge together. They can like make the relationship becomes better faster. So develop a genuine bond with people in your team. It's going to help you. And when you have this genuine bond, when you befriended people in your team, it will be easier for you to challenge them, because then they will know, and better, they will feel that you care. And this is something that you should take into account, that knowing something is not really understanding, feeling it, and having it. Because I can tell someone that I care, and they can understand that I told them that I care, but you need to go through many experiences together with this person for that person to really feel that you care, and for the caring deeply and challenge directly work. The second thing is understand what people want and help them get it. Let's say you just joined a team, and I don't know, maybe your project manager or your leader, he wants to deliver a feature because he really wants to make your team look good. Help him get it. You will see that because everyone is going to benefit from it. Understand what that junior developer wants. If you are a tech lead, hey, does that junior developer wants to work more on front end? All right, let me try to get this front end challenge and throw it at him. Of course, having other people that he can count on for help. But yeah, help them get it. It doesn't matter if you're just starting or if you are on 10 years, if you're a developer 10 years, help people get what they want. They will like you more, and they will probably be better simply for getting what they want. Uh, Create a standard of excellency. This is very important. You need to create a standard, and you need to not let people fall behind that standard. Because if you create the standard where people are giving the best of themselves and they are tackling through challenges and they're doing very good, and this standard starts to drop down, you can be sure that there's something wrong with something, like something in maybe this happens a lot. Like you're going through some trouble in your personal life, and your standard at work decreases. So whenever you pay attention to the standard of excellency that the team have, you will try to get what's going on. Maybe problems are happening, and you can go there and help people out if their productivity is falling, because everything's connected, right? You can. I have a quote that I like that I say that I never come to work because everything's connected. So I'm never really coming to work and getting out, because whenever I leave my office, I'm still thinking about the problem, and the experience that we have here working are carried out. So you need to befriend people, and you need to really make this thing nice and beneficial for you. Learn to follow. This is super important. If you want to become a leader or a better leader, learn to follow. This is super important. You won't be able to become a leader if you just want to lead. And actually, some things about leadership is that you need to understand that sometimes you don't need to lead. You just need to follow. If you have someone in your team who knows a language better than you, follow them. There's no problem in not knowing everything. In fact, the best leaders I've had, they counted a lot on other developers for advice, and they didn't really, like, they didn't care about showing that they're the best ones. They were really great, but they really tried to count on others' advice for everything that they were doing, and they were humble. And challenge directly. This can be possible. You see that sometimes there are bosses or people in an organization that move rapidly through the structure, and people think that, oh man, this guy is awesome, get stuff done. But because he only challenges people directly, he doesn't care deeply, and that doesn't work in time. That only works for a short amount of time. If you challenge people directly, they will do it, but they will do it by pressure, and you'll not be bringing real positive value for them. You'll only be pushing them and like kicking them in the butt for them to do it. And some organizations don't realize that in the long term, these people are doing bad for only challenging them directly. So care deeply and challenge directly. Be an external structure. So what this means is, let's say you're sitting on a chair. I think I like the chair example, right? But you're sitting on a chair, and this chair is in a structure that lets you sit and work. Your computer is a structure that lets you develop code, that lets you develop product. So external structures are basically things that you rely on, and they are structures that help you accomplish something, right? So when I say be an external structure, I mean you are also responsible for helping everyone that you relate with to succeed in everything that they're doing. So you are also an external structure. So the first thing here is your health and mental health is important. Take care of yourself so you can be strong enough to care of those around you. So you need to be mentally fit to help other people to succeed. And because if you don't take care of your mental health, and then someone in your team has a problem, and again, this doesn't apply to your team, this applies to your family as well. And if you're not in your best mental state, and someone is very bad and can come to you, you will probably drown together. So you want to help them get out of the water and not drown together with them. So your mental health is super important. Take care of this first before setting out to help others. Make sure that your house is in order in order before going out trying to help people get their house in order. This is it's very important. And be accountable. This speaks for itself, but be someone that people can trust. And when you say you're going to do something, really do it. It's very important. I would say be predictable. Be someone that is predictable. It's the best thing that you do for everyone in your life is be a predictable person, because our brains didn't evolve to deal with unpredictability, right? So if someone is unpredictable, it's horrible for our brain. And I would say that most people that we dislike, they are unpredictable because they maybe we dislike person when they don't do what we expect, basically. And when someone is unpredictable, you never know if you can really count on them. So be accountable and be predictable. Carry the heavy burden. And this means that you should basically do all the boring work before anyone else. And if you do that, of course, if you are able to do that, you need to also have realistic expectations, right? You need to carry the heavy burden, but the heavy burden that is enough for you to carry, right? It's irresponsible to say that, oh, carry the heaviest burden. Maybe you cannot carry the heaviest burden. Someone else more experienced should carry that heaviest burden. But if you can carry the heavy burden that you can. That's the idea. So this is basically about doing the boring tasks first and freeing up your team and yourself of doing them. And actually, if you start doing the boring tasks first, you will have all the after they are done, you will have space for you have created space for your team and for you to work on more important stuff. So I actually some boring stuff are very important. So if you take care of them first, you are also taking care of the important thing first. So be within effective external structures that allow and help you be the best version of yourself. So this is about that thing that you need to be in a place where your responsibilities they fit you, right? So you cannot, for instance, if you take all this that I'm saying and you try to solve a really, really, really big problem, it won't work. For instance, if let's say I give you an assignment that you are not capable of doing it in the time that I gave you, you won't be able to thrive a lot with all these rules that I'm giving you. So you need to be within effective external structures. Like you need to have someone to count on. If you have an assignment, if I give you an assignment and that assignment is too hard for you, I need to also provide you with people that can help you get there. I cannot say I cannot blame you if you. So this is a funny thing. The ideal way to give people challenge is that you give them no excuse to blame anything else but themselves. And what I mean by that is, and hardly when you do that, people really go and achieve the goal and solve the problem. If you do that, I think I've never seen one problem that didn't get solved. If you give the people a challenge and give all what they need to accomplish that challenge. The other thing is help people think, and you see how this is much more interesting than what it looks like. So why do you need to help people think in the first place? Because when people think better, they will become a better version of themselves, and we will write better software, and they will deliver a better product, and hopefully the client will get rich, and you get rich as well. So the first thing is to be in the right mental state. Again, this is very important. I told about that in the to be in the right mental state before you do it. But yeah, I need to be in the right mental state. If my house was on fire right now, I wouldn't be able to help anyone think, because I need to survive. So be in the right mental state. If you're anxious, your thoughts are going to get in the way as well, and you won't be able to help people think. Learn how to listen. This is super important. And you need to learn how to listen before you speak. And what it means to learn how to listen is don't only wait in a conversation. Don't wait for that other person to stop talking so you can say that interesting thing that you have. but assume that the other person knows more than you do. Always, no matter who you're talking to. If you're a senior developer and talking to a junior that's just left the bootcamp, assume that he knows better than you. He might not know more than you in like what it comes to development, but he may have a life experience that you didn't. Even if you are 40 years old and he's 19, he might have been through hard situations and know how to deal with it. I don't know, and it also doesn't apply only to hard situations, right? It can be, I don't know, maybe you're trying to, for instance, there is a guy here. He told us that he's a specialist in strawberries. So whenever whenever I want to deal like with planting strawberries, I'll go to him. So people have experiences, right? And they have these diverse experiences, and you always need to learn how to listen to them and assume that they know more than you do. It will help you to learn them to listen. So improve transcription fluency. So what transcription fluency is, and this could be the topic of a whole other talk, complete talk. But transcription fluency is basically getting what you are thinking into something tangible. So whenever you're writing a text, what's happening is you're getting information from your brain that is passing through your fingers into the keyboard, into electric impulses that turn into a text. So, and the text is your transcription fluency, right? You took a thought that you have in your mind and you put it on the text. And the way you should also improve transcription fluency of other people. And the way you can do this, it's by try to understand what they mean instead of just hanging on to their words, because we have a very more powerful ability to think than we have to speak and to put this thinking into logic thoughts, right? In words. But we have the idea in our minds, but sometimes we might not have the right idea in our minds, and helping the person understand where he wants to get with what he's saying. It's most important than just hanging to his words. Try to understand the real meaning of what they want to say. And sometimes the meaning is a bit confused because maybe in their own minds they didn't have achieved the place that what they want to point to. So you need to help them point to the right thought that they are trying to get to. Sometimes people are saying something, but they really didn't get to understand what they are really trying to say. So if you help them do that, everyone will benefit. This can also be very good for relationships. If your partner is trying to say something and that doesn't make sense, it actually does. 100% of the time, I say it does. There might be, if there are, maybe they are always mad at something, but deeply there is a problem, and you need to figure out what the problem is in their mind so you can fix it in the real world and get away with that feeling of being angry all the time with small things, maybe. But that's the thing. Sometimes, most of the times, people complaining about small things means a bigger problem hidden in the shadows. So practice is still manning. If you guys are into philosophy, you have heard of the strawman argument. It's basically when someone says a thing and you use a strawman argument. You say that in other words that make it sound a lot dumber than it really is. And still manning is actually practicing the stillman argument, which is the opposite of the strawman argument. So the way you practice too many is by getting what the other person is saying and improving it. So let's say you're talking to a person that has a totally opposing view from you. What you want to do is whenever they are defending their point, you want to get the point and improve it. You want to make the other side of the discussion better. And why is that? Because the best way to make someone change his mind, if that's what you want to do, it's to really be at the same point where they are at, and to show them that you really get what they're saying. And most of the time, when you have an opposing view and you're still manning with other person that is still manning with you, you change your mind a lot. And also, don't be afraid to change your mind. What you want is get to the truth, is get to what works. Always, you never want to be right. You want to do the right thing, rather than just being right, just for the sake of being right. So practice still manning, understand the opposing point, even better than other people. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, he said that you need sometimes when you want to convince someone, you need to act, to think like a spy in terms of you need to understand everything that where they're coming from, right? You need to understand where they're really where that opinion is coming from, where that argument is coming from. And like I said, you change your mind a lot when you do this, because most of the time when you deal with interesting people, they actually have thought about the subject more than you do, and they have better uh, places where they got that information, and you change your mind a lot if you do this, but you also get to the truth a lot more. Always finish a meeting with a working plan. This is something that happens a lot in many organizations. You have endless meetings, or maybe you have a short meeting, but that meeting shouldn't really exist. But if you finish every meeting with a working plan, you will, one, always get out with a working plan, which is good, like, right? You spend that time there thinking and talking, now you know what to do. Or if you cannot get out with a working plan from a meeting, you will know that there's something wrong. Maybe that meeting shouldn't exist. Maybe there is some other problem. But if you cannot get out of a meeting with a working plan, or at least with a new idea, then it's what maybe should not be having that meeting. But always finish a meeting with a working plan. And most important, be there. This is super important in our day and age. Disconnect from your phone, turn off notifications, be 100% there, because you might be missing a very important detail that your mind is not processing, because maybe you just saw a notification on your phone, or maybe because you're multitasking. So, and this doesn't apply only to being on a phone or notification or anything like that. You might be multitasking. You might be in a meeting and you might be coding. This happens. And ideally, you shouldn't do that. You should be there. And if you are always finishing a meeting with a working plan, and your team has acquired that culture, you will always rest assured that you won't be missing, that you will actually be missing important stuff for not being there, because everyone has already learned how to have effective meetings. And then you won't be coding, because everything is going to be interesting. Everything that's going to be said to you really matters if you in your team practice this. Okay, so I think I've talked about a lot of the big picture stuff of I talked a lot about attitude and mindset of how to approach the problem, because a lot of becoming better is having an attitude, mimic an attitude that you want to become. So let's say you want to become a punk rock singer. I think that the first step is to adopt the attitude of a punk rock singer. But then when you do that, you need tools, right? You need to really start learn how to sing, learn how to write great songs. And so now I'm going to talk about some tools that you can use, and you can start using these tools today, and they will improve you tomorrow. So this works like right out of the box. And so the first one is give yourself a feedback. This means, and you can do this right after ending this meeting, and then tomorrow you will see benefits right away. So stop everything that you're doing and write what you should start doing, what you should stop doing, and what you should keep doing. This works really well if you time box it. If you like, okay, so I'm going to sit here, I'm going to put this 5-minute timers, or maybe this 10-minute timer, and I'm going to get out of here with a start, stop, and keep doing list. Because if you just sit and to think about without a time constraint pushing you, you might be thinking about many big picture stuff, and you might not come out with an action plan, an effective action plan. So start, stop, keep doing. Even if you're not going to do something that's going to make you the next billionaire, you will still solve some problems, right? You still start doing something interesting, even if that means I don't know, play that next video game. You will at least do something you like in the worst scenario, and you'll stop doing something you don't like doing, and you also remember to keep doing. And not only do this, not only write, but keep it. in a place where it's visible. So if you do this on a paper or post-its, maybe you could stick that into a wall and look at it every day and look at it all the time. So your mind will remember and start working on a background thread on how to stop, start, or keep doing it. So you need to bring intention to what you want to become or what you want to stop being. So write this: start, stop, keep doing. Post it. Maybe you can write it on a sticker note on a desktop and keep it there. It's definitely going to help you. Rubber ducking. So rubber ducking is basically explaining a problem to a rubber duck. This is very well known for us developers. And now AE has rubber duck Chrome extension that you can download and start rubber ducking right now. No, not right now, guys. Wait a sec. Let me finish up. But the idea is that when you're rubber ducking, you're explaining the problem to that rubber duck, and basically your mind is untangling the problem as you speak. Because, like I said before, we evolved to speak, to talk, and to relate with other people, and that rubber duck can act like another people that explain the problem, and the problem is going to you're going to how can I say that? You're going to elaborate the problem for the rubber duck and also for your mind. So this happens a lot whenever I'm opening an issue on GitHub. I start writing the issue, and then okay, so let me be more clear. And then I write, and then, oh, so actually I think that I understand now there's a solution. And then I don't write the issue because I found the solution just by writing about the solution. So rubber ducking is about this, is about explaining the problem to someone so you can get more context. Morning pages, this is something that will help you a lot in the long term or mid-term. So what are morning pages? Basically, this is something that artists use to unblock themselves and to have better artistic ideals and have a better artistic output. So what is a morning page? So whenever you wake up, before looking at your phone, before taking breakfast, because your mind will be fresh from sleeping and you would have just dreamed and your mind would be on a very creative state, sit down and time box 10 minutes and write anything that comes to your mind. And the thing is, the only rule is you need to write during all those 10 minutes. You can't stop writing. This is a rule. Even if you're writing like stuff like, I have no idea what to write here, and I really wish I wouldn't do this. I'm hungry. I want to get my breakfast. And then you see that you start elaborating it, and you talk about problems in your morning pages. So and you will, after writing them, you have talked about the problems with the morning pages and maybe understand, get an insight of what might be wrong. So for midterm, it helps because whenever you read back to your morning pages after you've written for a long time, you start seeing patterns. You start seeing small ideas there, small hints of things that you want to do, and they're there. And you start seeing that. So one thing that I realized with morning pages, and it took me 3 weeks, is that I didn't like to play video games as much as I was playing, because I realized that binge playing video games was making me feel bad about playing video games. And I played video games since I was a kid, so I like a lot of playing them. But I realized, and I was feeling bad. I didn't want to play anymore, but I also wanted to play. So it was a very strange feeling. And writing morning pages for 3 weeks, I realized that I needed to set goals for the games I was playing. So I couldn't just sit down and just play. I need to get some goals on what I was playing so I could feel better about playing video games. And I realized that through morning pages, and there is a lot more things in morning pages that I only realized after writing it for 3 weeks and going back to them later, and also many problems. And I also feel a lot more creative by writing them. So you can start them doing the morning pages tomorrow. Meditation is something that is very underrated, but if you start meditating, and I'll give you a challenge here right now. If you start meditating 5 minutes a day for a week and you don't see any improvement on your attention, on lowering your anxiety, you can email me, and you won't email because I'm sure that this will actually improve you, and you feel better, and you start seeing how your mind works. It's like really when you start really looking inside you and see everything that's working inside you like you never seen before. But it takes time. You can try meditating with an app. It takes time. I mean, you never stop learning how to meditate. This is something that's awesome. But if you do it 5 minutes a day and you start for in a week, you will learn how to meditate and you will already see the benefits. So start with Headspace. There's another app called Petit Bamboo, which I like. He has some meditations for things that you want to improve. For instance, there is meditation sessions for improving focus. There are meditation sessions for improving your public speaking, and many others. Exercising is really important to exercise. Everyone knows that, but it's super hard to start. But it's something that's really important. And like everyone knows the benefits of exercise, and everyone knows, but not everyone have experienced it. And I was one of these persons. And like I said, I went to the gym because everyone in my team was going to the gym, and everyone started becoming bigger and bigger. And I was just the same size. I said, I want to be big like these guys. And then I started exercising, and I really felt annoyed by having to go to the gym. And I decided that I would go, or at least try to go every day, so I wouldn't have to decide which days I would go. And I took the longest route just to not make a decision on which days I would go, because I thought that if I had to think about which days I would go, I would come up with an excuse. And it worked for some time, but then I started going 3 times a week, and now I go 2 or 3 times a week. But the thing is, start exercising. It's going to be annoying at first. Whenever you get to the gym, and you can take it as a test. Whenever you get to the gym and see those guys that are much more physically developed than you, this is a mind test. So you need to win the mind game for exercising. You need to win that game of really have the courage to go there. And even being that fat guy, and I used to weigh a lot more than I do today. And I took it as a challenge. I took it exercising as a growth mindset. I went to the gym and I look at all these guys, and I was really, really fat there. And I thought, okay, so I have to make a choice here. I can either give up and be fat forever, and I don't want to be fat forever because I was having health problems. It was bad. But I looked at these guys and said, okay, man, so I'm looking at this big guy exercising here. He doesn't know what I'm capable. And I like created this story in my mind that I would get there one day and he would say, "Oh, are you that fat guy? And then now you lost a lot of pounds." And yeah, and they say, "Yeah," and like I created this story, but it never happened. I actually moved and went to another city, and that didn't happen. But that kept me motivated. And like I think that you need to win this mind game before going to the gym. Otherwise, you're going to give up. And once you start going to the gym, you will see benefits, and you won't want to stop. And that's all I had, guys, for this talk. I think that many of the things I talked here can become a talk for itself. But I want to finish it with a quote. It's work joyfully and peacefully, knowing that right thoughts and right efforts inevitably bring about right results. So if you think better, you will have better results in whatever you are doing. And I hope this talk has made you a better developer or a better whatever you already are. Thank you for watching. And if you're inspired, we have good news. We're hiring. We are top developers on Coders Rank, and we are top developers on Clutch. And actually, we have a guy here in AE who is 80K at Stack Overflow. So this is awesome. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Any questions? Okay, so let me stop sharing now.